What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. Holy shit, dudes. We're every week, man. There's a thing, there's a development. We're working very hard behind the scenes here to start bringing you guys some new content. Some really exciting things we're almost to where I start telling you, where I start releasing the details. But let me just say, it's going to be dope. Keep your eyes. Specifically, I just want to throw out a little shout out to the Art Hard Studios YouTube channel, youtube.com/ArtHard Studios. I'm starting to put my map time lapses up over there, and we are about to start a really cool new art show, interview series. It's gonna be cool. I'm done talking about it, but it's gonna be sick. Definitely make sure you are subscribed over at youtube.com/ArtHard Studios to get notified whenever we drop hot new fires. So big shout out to the Buds community, ever growing. We hit a pretty dope milestone last week. I couldn't let it slip by unnoticed. Our little WeeDnD hub community group on Facebook has reached 1,000 members, man. Just freaking crazy. It's an awesome little community group. I gotta say, as far as D&D community groups go, it's pretty fucking chill. We all just kind of share good laws and good memes and have a good time. If you haven't checked it out and you use the Facebook, I'm gonna call it the Facebook because I'm super hip. And head on over to the old Facebook on the interwebs and join the group. Come hang out with the buds, man. It's a good time. Also, be sure to check out our Discord because that's where the fun just don't stop. It's like we popping in Discord all the time, and it's a blast. And get in there, play some freaking D&D, man. Let's get the buds together. Let's get these green gamers together, my fellow stone nerds, and get some D&D games going, man. As a DM, that would just warm my heart. So thank you guys so much for just hanging with us, for helping this thing grow. All of you that contribute to the show, man, we're just we take all of that and we put it right back into this beautiful thing we're trying to build here. So thank you guys so much to everybody who gives subs, buys subs, does bits, even just takes the time to throw us up. Our lurkers, we freaking love you guys too. So thank you so much from all of us here at Team WeeDnD and the Art Hard Studios that I'm sitting in here. But I've been jabbering on for a little while. I did have one thing I wanted to mention. We will be doing a giveaway tonight. We are going to once again be giving away one of our man Gus Two Blunts Langley's stand-up comedy albums, Drip Drop, Titty Flop. Boom. Yes, that's right, folks. A little Gus Langley original. It's hot fire. Our man Smoked Out Turtle won the last one. Who's it going to be tonight? Only one way to know. Type #WeeDnD in chat, and it will make you eligible for the drawing here at the end of the show. We usually do them around 10 o'clock or so. So you don't have to be here. I'll send you a little message, but just make sure you get that #WeeDnD into chat. Oh, man, I am already tired of listening to me gab on. So what I'm going to do is take this little joint here, pass it through the magical fibers of the internet to my dear and wonderful and little bow-wearing friend, Brenna. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl?
Oh, man, I am doing great. You were talking about subs. It made me think about sandwiches, and my favorite sandwich is a Philly cheesesteak. Abby, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, thank you. My favorite sandwich is a grilled cheese sandwich, and I got one ready to go, but I know somebody. Oh, by the way, hi, I'm Abby Dandy. I play tennis smooth hands around these parts, but I think I know somebody has a knuckle sandwich on deck. Do you?
Oh, thanks, baby girl. What up, y'all? Drew Thorkus the Dwarf. I don't care what kind of sandwich it is. I'm gonna eat it. I just love sandwiches. That's... I can't tell a lie. And I'm coming up with fucking absolutely nothing right now. So, glad you guys are here with us.
Recording this live.
Here you go. Hot dropping it to you. Jesus. Woo!
Hey, that was quick. Definitely quick. Appreciate you, best friend. What's up, everybody? Jake Taylor is Rial Authorvon. I'm a fan of a turkey sandwich, but grilled cheese shit slaps. I think Rial mostly eats sandwiches, and it's not really, he doesn't want them, but he gets them anyway. Oh well, things are much better when he's with his buds, just like here in real life. Thanks for being here, y'all. And check out this dope fucking shirt that Gus has got. What's up, buddy?
Oh, what up, Jake? Yo, it is your boy, Gus Two Blunts Langley, repping the Liches Get Riches. Yeah, like Bam said, we're doing a little giveaway. Drip Drop Titty Flop. going to a Lucky Bud tonight. Or if anybody just wants to buy one, you can hit me up in my DMs, slide on in there. The reason that Drew couldn't think of what to say is because I've been stealing his thoughts. Divot is ready to get into this shit, so let's pass it back over to Bam.
Got it back once more. You know, every week I'm amazed at our ability to pass a virtual joint, pipe, bong, pen to each other, and every week we pull it off, guys. We start winning around here, and we just keep on doing it. So, guys, we got us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it. Maybe you haven't. But we like to take a little lighter, like this guy I got right here. In this case, it's a little T-Rex riding a moped in front of the moon. Isn't that great? Aw. Look around, make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go! Lighters up. Play some fucking D&D, guys.
Weed&D, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. Weed&D.
Oh, hello. All right, if you will please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood before a strange magical crystal deep within the Fey-Tainted caves of the Malachite Mountains. Attempting to find the 5 goblins that Boxxo had alerted them disappeared within, the 5 pushed through a sprawling labyrinth of shifting stone caves and corridors that led them at long last to the twisting tunnels that burst with signs of life from the Feywild. They found one of the goblins, Jingle, being consumed by a massive fey creature in a pool of strange giant mushrooms and shimmering fey water, and quickly dispatched it. But unfortunately for both Boxxo and the 5, he had already succumbed to death, which would stand as no barrier to Divot, an agent of death himself. He questioned the ghostly spirit of the goblin and learned that the goblin fuck had gone deepest within. In their search for fuck, Divot found a strange cluster of crystals which appeared to have another goblin sealed within. All right, guys. Ooh, let me put that in the right order. We jump back in. You all stand within the green, slithering stone walls of the caves deep within the Malachite Mountains. Small streaks of light, beam in from cracks in the shifting rock above you that bounce off of these green stones that writhe like a serpent's skin all around you. Not as tumultuous as the shifting stone labyrinth, but these walls themselves, too, have a small amount of movement to them, as if the earth itself is shifting due to the magical influence surrounding you. The air itself is damp and wet and has a sweet kiss of cinnamon as you breathe it in through your mouth and nose. You're familiar with this smell. It's the smell of the Feywild. Right now, Divot, you stand at the southern part of this twisting cave, down the little slopey, moss-covered hill that separates you from the rest of the group in this moment. You're kind of just peeking around the corner, one of the little eyes from your vest of eyes peeking around the corner to see as you adjust to the bright, beaming purple and pink magical essence that just emanates from these crystals. Again, that just seem to have an element about them that reminds you of that moment on the plain when you saw Queen Mab and her armies coming towards you in the Feywild. It feels like the air around you, the very, the cavern walls themselves drip with the essence of Queen Mab. In this moment, Divot, you stand a bit transfixed as you look upon a figure, a goblin, much similar to the body of the small goblin Jingle you had found before near the poisonous mushrooms. His body is currently frozen inside of a crystal. You see these white and purple veins on the ground that kind of lead to the base of this crystal formation that stands like 5 crystals tall, kind of spread out like a handful of playing cards. And you see in the most centermost crystal, the goblin's body, fixed in the stone. You see small veins of white and purple pulsating around his veins, similar to the way that the mushrooms drew blood from you, as you experienced in the, kind of like the one in your ring, Divot, the blood-sucking mushrooms of the Feywild. A similar sapping of energies you're watching take place. But Divot, you notice one thing as you look at this terrible, this figure locked inside a house of crystal. You notice his little goblin eyes are darting around. You see, he can't move his body, but his eyes are screaming from behind the crystal. What do you do?
Okay, I'm still invisible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I stay where I am, and I want to mentally if I can look up the corridor and I know where my team was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
you can see them. Specifically, your vision is very good. You do have dark vision granted to you by the robe of eyes, so you can see the whole posse up the hill,
Okay, so, hey, and I give you the skinny on what I just saw, everybody.
Telepathically communicating.
Yeah, and then I want to see, because I saw his eyes darting around, so I look at it, and I'm just like, hey.
You pop it. Roll me a 1d20 actually.
To be clear, mentally, not like I don't say it.
Yeah, you don't actually say it. I'm sorry, 1d100.
Oh Jesus.
Divot has a great history of these 1d100 rolls.
Papa son one of them times.
55.
55.
All right.
Spiggity 55.
All right. So Divot, you begin to kind of bend the magical energies that you use to send your telepathic thoughts through the prison of this crystal wall and into the mind of the goblin within. You see him, his face twisted in a grimace, the large goblin mouth, sharp pointy teeth, all frozen in this kind of terrified look, as if he didn't expect what was happening to him. And you, Divot, you begin to send your telepathic magic through the crystal. And suddenly, you feel a tickling on your chin. Almost like a bunch of little bugs are crawling around on your beard. You take your skeleton hands and reach up to him real quick, and as you grab your beard, the hair falls off.
No!
Now, Divot, you're a revenant. Your body is actually rotting, and you find that some segments, as you pull your hand away, peel a little bit of your chin skin away as well. And you guys see, as you're kind of looking down this hill. Well, no, he's invisible, so you're not seeing crap. But yeah, so Divot, you kind of look
Parts
down.
Parts of me that come off become visible.
Yeah, right. You just see a little bit of hair. What was that? No, Divot. So yeah, you see as your beard falls out.
We're gonna have to glue that back on.
But
I pick it up and put it in my pocket.
Yes, eager to not mix too much rock in there, and mix up the earth with your own skin. You kind of scoop it all up and put it in one of your many bags. You do actually, however, get a response from within. Help me, please! Oh, it crushes, it eats me. And you see as the eyes are just kind of screaming, matching the words from within.
Did anyone speak
Oh
goblin?
man.
Divot does.
So,
Actually, Divot, as long as they have intelligence, Divot can telepathically communicate with them, regardless of language. It's a pretty cool little feature.
Oh man, hold on.
Oh.
All right, I can't watch another one of these guys die. I saw how important they were to Boxxo. I know my team's coming down the hallway. We are strong together. I'm not worried about it. I am going to cast Shatter on the base of this thing far enough down so that it won't hit the goblin, but will hit the thing that's holding the goblin, if that's possible.
All right, so I don't want to make it seem like there might not be a risk involved in this, Divot. Knowing what you know, looking at him, he's tightly encased in this crystal. And so it would almost be like being inside of a very tight coffin while an earthquake was going on. There is a chance that something could happen. I don't want to mislead you and make it seem, like Shatter's a great idea here, but I just wanted you to know it's like there is a little of risk in this. But I mean, Divot, typically a man of action. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like he's long for this world if he stays in that crystal.
You're not wrong. You're almost watching as these purple and white veins seem to be pumping, and you watch, even though he can't move, you just see the pain on his wincing body as this crystal appears to feed. If you remember, the goblin that you spoke to, the ghost of Jingle, had told you that it's feeding the essence to these crystals is what transformed the goblins. That was one of the answers to your question. So you're kind of watching as this essence is drained from him.
How high up in the crystal is he?
So these crystals stand about 6 feet tall. The center husk is the largest. It seems like perhaps it grew first and the others around it, get smaller in size. But you see about 5 of these really tall, 6 foot at the tallest, probably down to about 4 foot at the shortest, spread out, again, like playing cards. He is entombed within the centermost crystal. He's only 3 feet tall. So I would say there is probably about 3 foot of crystal beneath him. That's not encasing his body.
Okay, and it's a 10 foot diameter spell?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so theoretically I could cast it at the ground and not just completely destroy him.
Correct, yeah, you could try to break the bottommost part of the crystal. You're not a stone theorist. You don't know a lot about how vibration would affect crystal. But with Divot's amount of knowledge...
Let's do it!
Yeah.
Do something crazy.
So, Divot, I do need you, as you go to cast this spell, you experience this same strangeness that occurred at the first spell that you cast. Roll me 1d100, please.
Oh, jeez.
52.
52. All right. Interesting. All right, so
Well, I don't like that.
Divot, you jump to action. You can sense that the crystal itself almost screams out as you start channeling the magic of shatter at this object. Now, it does get a saving throw. That's part of the... it does have disadvantage on the save. So I got an 11... and a 9. So yeah, with the 9, that's not good enough. So you see as you start vibrating these crystals, you watch small cracks just like start shooting up like little lightning bolts up the purple and white side of these crystals. And suddenly, almost like when you broke out of being inside of your own statue, you start to see little beams of light just like shoot out. They bounce off the nearby green, writhing walls of this strange Fey cave, and you see as the creature within, you hear him screaming, "Not magic! Not magic!" You watch as it vibrates, and the crystal grows in size.
Whoops.
But breaks. And you see the base of the crystal fall down on the ground in front of you. And you watch as the crystal, like the parts that are all touching the ground, now start reaching out with these purple and white veins that clutch into the earth and start setting new crystals that just spiral out of the ground in front of you.
Ooh. Whoa.
Now, at that point, Divot, casting Shatter, you become visible. You guys see as the vibration of Divot's spell. So wait, is Shatter concentration? I'm sorry.
No, it's an instantaneous spell.
It's
actually.
instant. So yeah, you don't lose it. So Divot, you cast. You guys just see this vibration. You see the like purple lights with these little beaming jets of light bouncing off the walls. Suddenly, you hear this. The shattering of a crystal, the loud thud of hundreds of pounds of gemstone smack into the ground, and then that's all you see. The purple light continues emanating.
Well, I gotta try to get this guy out of that thing.
All right, Divot, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana, eh?
Yeah, you're kind of looking, it's like how do I break a bunch of crystal without magic, you know? And it's like, I mean, you look at this crystal, it seems very thick. Like even the blow of an axe or a hammer might not be enough to just like cut into it. It's extremely dense.
Double 17s.
That's definitely good enough. So Divot, you're kind of looking at this crystal, and you're watching the veins work within. And suddenly, like your keen knowledge and awareness of death and the functions of removing the life from something and then putting it somewhere else, you know, kind of the calling of your master, the Lord of Death. And you're looking at the way that these vines in the crystals are growing, and it's like a life form. And you know, you almost feel the suction of this weird blood mushroom that lives within your ring. The constant need, the hunger for life force. And you're looking down at this crystal, and you think that the crystal is growing based on both magical essence and the draining of the life force within. So you're kind of looking down, like how through magic might I augment this? And you come up with a small thought. You take a little of that piece of skin that fell off of your chin. You know, you see the little orange beard hair still sticking off of it. But you take it and you set it on the crystal. And as it sits there for a moment, you watch as one of the little veins breaks out of the crystal, latches onto it like a parasite, and starts growing. And now there's a large chunk of crystal in that space. Based on what you observe with your arcana, your knowledge of death, you think you might be able to jump, like to overdrive this thing. If you fed it too much life energy, it might cause the vibration, the constant growth, to cause these crystals to break. It seemed to feed off of your own essence. So, in the D&D terms of it, it seems like you can feed it health to try to break it.
Where are we gonna find a healer?
Huh. Sure. Yeah, so I see all the flashes, and I run right in the room to see Divot putting his chin flesh on a crystal.
He's still invisible, actually. So you just see.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, no, you see and again, you know, as you kind of go down that little hill there between you and him, the moss is real slippery. You kind of slide in the same track that he did. Your feet about the same size, both being, from having a halfling father. Once you get over there, though, again, Divot's still invisible. You kind of look and you see, now described, this crystal turned down on the ground. The face of the goblin actually looking into the earth now. You just see the backside of his clothes, but he resembles the goblin jingle that you had found before. And now the crystal, rather than growing up, is like growing into the earth first and then growing again. So you do see this big chunk of crystal grown around this strange patch of skin and fur.
Yeah, well, I take note of it. I'm looking for Divot to like see what's going on, but I reflexively, I don't like, I see this creature struggling in front of me, and I want to save it, so I'm gonna channel some life and energy from Shantia and just try to it at the crystal in front of me to see if it helps the situation, because I have no other eyes.
All right. So are you going to cast one of your healing spells on it? Is that your plan? Or do you just want to try to like bend Shantia's energy toward it?
No, I'm definitely going to try to cast a healing spell. Just trying to remember which one. Yeah, I'm going to do Healing Word so that I can still remain like at the entrance of as a little cave room.
Yeah, you don't have to touch. Exactly. That's a good point. A good little point there, Tina Smooth Hands. Keeping them hands smooth. Tina, you look down, you're kind of like, your heart's racing a little bit. You know that earthquake sound, that's Divot. And every time Divot casts that dang spell, something crazy's happening. And so you're kind of looking around and you don't see him anywhere. You know, maybe you accidentally bump into him a little bit, but you start channeling the spell of Healing Word, a ranged healing spell, good call. But again, you feel this weird bubble push back against you. You're very familiar with it. It's absolutely that strange lingering madness between you and the Feywild. You know, that kind of in-between place in your mind that you've gone several times as you've had these encounters. Roll me 1d100, please.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, give me a minute. Sometimes my computer takes a minute.
Yeah, Roll20 be sluggish. Everybody's playing Roll20 right now.
Did that do?
It
Okay,
did.
yeah.
That
Okay,
do.
56.
All right.
We only roll in the
The
50s.
siblings are all 50s.
It runs in the family.
Picket fence, 2
Tina,
kids and a dog,
Keep it up
Tina.
with the Joneses.
TV dinners.
not being able to perceive the ill effects that occurred to your brother when trying to cast magic upon this same stone, you begin glowing this healing magic in your hand, and you feel that wave of wild magic kind of surge through your body, and suddenly your healing spell goes through to the crystal, and you see it just vibrates. Doesn't grow, doesn't break, just vibrates. And suddenly, you feel what feels like a ton of insects crawling in your hair. You're like, oh God, you reach up into the skull helmet, still kind of cracked from being thrown by that stone golem. Your hands go up into your hair, and as you bring them out, great chunks of hair are stuck to your hand. You watch, almost in horror, as the skin around the top of your hair allows all of the hair on your head to just drop to the ground. Now, you don't have all the fleshy bits because you're not a revenant like your brother. But yeah, all of your hair has fallen out.
I was gonna shave it anyway. It's fine.
I'm doing a Natalie Portman thing.
Get a smooth head. Tuna smooth head. Love you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take that in. I'm gonna take all of that in. My new cue ball.
So, Tina.
What? I'm sorry. What was the effect on the stone again?
Yeah.
All right, so it vibrated, but nothing actually happened. Now, Divot, again, with your arcana, you're kind of like paying attention to this. And as the stone starts to glow, you kind of, and like reflect this light at you, you look down and you notice, Divot, you have this strange magic shield just in front of you. You've seen this spell before. It's literally somehow the spell shield got cast on you when you casted Shatter on the stone. And so you have this little invisible wall in front of you for 1 minute. Use the spell. Your AC is 2 higher, and you are immune to magic missile for the next minute.
Okay, so I feel good, and I see that her spell made that thing vibrate, and I'm like, okay, magic bad, healing good. How can I do the most amount of healing without? And then I grab one of the healing potions out of my gear, and I just like smash it, throw it and smash it like right where the goblin is, like so that I'm hitting the stuff, specifically what he's encased in.
You gotta stop doing that, man. That hurts people.
Divot, you
break
watch.
Glass on their face. It hurts them, but it heals them. But it doesn't feel good.
Let me heal you.
You're gonna want the potion.
All right, so Divot, you throw this healing potion. You see it kind of soar through the air. One of the beams of light from the rocks just shines off of it and shatters, and you see the magical liquid within splash on the crystal. And kind of like acid eats away, like spray paint eats away at styrofoam, you watch the crystal kind of eat away a little bit in the areas that the liquid went. Now again, with your high arcana, your knowledge of death, and now watching the effects of healing magic and potions on it, Divot, you kind of come to the realization, this thing wants blood.
Man. Son of a bitch. Well.
I don't have any of that.
The last guy that you should ask for blood from. Got none.
I was gonna say we're all in the corner. Should we all see what?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea that we rock on up and see what the fuck is going on.
We have to turn back for a minute.
I was just gonna leave.
Yeah, I think
This doesn't seem like a good idea, guys. We can figure something else out. Let's just go back.
So, as you guys kind of slide down there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sliding down here on Brian, and I am noticing that this the only place that was kind of like this was a place that we got to through a portal. So I'm kind of picking up that there's something very weird afoot. That like this isn't normal. I've lived my entire life in the reality realm, you know, like in the normal realm of world that we live in, and now just very suddenly in the past like day or so, I've gone in and out of the Feywild. So I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why now? What's going on?
That's a legitimate concern.
Why now? What's going on?
And then you look and you see Tina has no hair.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm still taking in this moment, but also I noticed that the only times my magic has felt this dampened was in the Feywild. Something's going on. Something's fishy.
So Tina, you have a knowledge of your power source comes through like you did study magic in church. You know, like you're aware of the divine nature of your magic. You could pretty easily know why this is. Now you know that Shantia and all of the gods that do, you know, in D&D we know. We're like, hey, there's a god. So it's like we know there's this pantheon of gods. They rule over the primaterial plane from their own little pocket dimensions, you know, and each god has their own little place. And but you know that it's like the Feywild exists outside of that hierarchy. So you know the Feywild to be a place of wild magic, and these, you know, it's kind of supposedly the birthplace of the race of elves, and you know, it's like where some of the higher magic things come from. So you're aware of like, I just wanted to make it clear, it wouldn't be too shocking to you that like in the Feywild, Shantia has a harder time getting to you. She technically has no jurisdiction there, but the Feywild's a crazy place, so it's not like there's any one person that's like, no, you can't give a cleric a spell, but there's so much magic that it's just hard to hone in on that signal. You know, you guys are a little fuzzy with each other. And you do notice as you go into this cave, that sense of disconnection from your deity does seem to be getting stronger.
Yeah, I feel the connection is super dampened, and I'm also reaffirmed separately in my, okay, magic bad, healing good, and I just kind of, I feel like Divot has a hang on it, floating potions and all, so I'm gonna see what his next move is. The group's next move.
Yeah, Divot, you know, she finally saw your potion as it appeared, you know, in the air before crashing on the crystal, so she's got a good idea of where you're at. You kind of see, you know, Divot, you've probably got the most experience with it at this point and kind of the most idea of what's going on with it. So you see as the kind of group, Thoric is still kind of like, are you sure we even want to go down? You know, just like near the top of the hill, like, could go back to the labyrinth. But yeah, you see everybody kind of gathering around as this glowing purple and pink light, again so bright you have to shield your eyes for a moment, and you're all kind of looking as you just see this crystal just growing in size.
Well, I was gonna say, the day is mine. No hair, no problem. Can't heal, no magic. The day is mine. I just wanted to get the fuck out of here if we could, but it's fine. All I know how to do is hit stuff, guys. So like, I mean, that's not healing, but that's all I do. I have no healing potions, and yeah. So
you have 2, don't you? I thought everybody got 2 from Boxxo.
Yeah, I think so.
I did.
Do something crazy. Do something crazy. Do
Well, I mean,
something crazy.
I just want to hit it.
Drew something crazy.
Yeah.
Do something crazy.
I mean, Thoricus, you know, you're a stone reaver, bro. Like, it's like, this might not be stone, but reaving is it's what you're about.
I cut rocks all day.
So it does. This thing, I mean, it would have, it's got a hardness. It's a pretty high hardness. It's over 15. It's 15. So you have to do more than 15 damage to it to do damage to it, Thoricus. But go ahead and, you know, it doesn't, it's grappled by its own nature, so you don't have to worry about hitting it, but roll an attack for damage.
Dude.
Okay.
Blam bazam.
You see the spinning nature of, you know, the Thoricus Onyx Heart's battle. She starts spinning the axe. Which axe are you going to use? Lucille. You see Lucille, the flurry comes down. higher than 15. And actually, you see the blade again. The hardness of this crystal seems strange to you. It's like the strength of a normal crystal. You should have been able to cleave the top of this, crystal burst right off. When you just shatter the top of this crystal perch, the top of like the rhombus just shatters off. So you could, you're like, it might take a while, but you chipped it. It's like it would take quite a few swings at that speed, but yeah, that you could try to chop him out. You don't know what the risk involved would be when you start getting closer to where he's at.
Right. Can I ask you this? Is it because of the type of damage that I'm doing that it's not doing as much damage?
No,
But did like a bludgeoning type do?
This crystal, the D&D of it a little bit, but this is specifically like an element of Queen Mab, and so as such, it has magical hardness. So it has a magical hardness of 15. So yeah, it's just.
So in some games that does count. Like it's resistant to this kind of damage, but if you do this type of damage,
right? Yeah, it's not like piercing or bludgeoning. I mean, Divot's magic was able to shatter some of the crystals. It just kind of didn't work out the way he had hoped. But yeah, it's these things aren't immune to damage. It's just an exceptionally hard crystal, which your blacksmith mind kind of starts ruminating on a little bit. You're like, if this wasn't evil, it might be a good little material.
Right. If it wasn't going to eat me, I might be able to.
But again, Divot, you have deduced at this point that what this, like, the answer, the way to at least just make this thing overgrow to the point where you think it would become unstable is to literally feed it blood. Like, the life essence from the magic somehow gets distorted through this Feywild magic. The health essence in the potion seem to affect the crystal, but not enough. And so it's like that's what the result of your like Arcana check and now watching these experiences go. That's what you've deduced.
Okay, but my dead skin worked also.
Mm-hmm. But again, your dead skin is like factored into your hit points, so it's like that is the same thing. It was like the essence of your life is what fed it and made it grow in that instance. The speed at which it grew is what made you go, I bet if I pumped this thing full of blood, it would blow up, basically. It would, shatter from within.
Yeah, well, I don't know any of this because Divot's invisible and we don't know the plan, but I saw Thoricus attack, so I'm gonna do the same. Time.
You're like, yeah!
And I'm gonna tap at Bruno. I'm like, I think we're breaking shit, and then zip off.
Oh yeah.
It's the Office Space scene.
Let's go
stomping out this crystal.
So until I hear otherwise, I'm gonna. Can the crystal see me? Can I get sneak attack damage with the throat fucker on this?
No, it's not crystal? So your sneak attack comes from like you're good at like knowing where like their lungs are, their kidneys. Like you're good at making these like precision strikes. Unfortunately, like this crystal specifically doesn't have like lungs or anything. So it's like no sneak attack.
Thoricus is a rock guy. Can I be like, where's the crystal's kidneys?
Well, you're probably gonna want to try and hit it right where I hit it, because that's probably the weakest part of it right now. Or maybe where Divot poured the potion onto and it started disintegrating. I'm gonna guess either one of those spots is probably your best fucking option. I'm gonna.
Funny enough, they're shaped like kidneys, both spots. It's really weird. All right, what'd you say? It was 15?
Yeah, it's a hardness of 15. So Rial, you strike. How much did you do?
17.
17 AC hits. How much damage?
8 slashing.
8 slashes. So yeah, you pull out your throat fucker, the little loop at the bottom of your hook. You try scratching into the same recess that the axe of Lucille the Fury went, and you see not sharp enough. You're not even sure if you could hit this thing hard enough. Again, Thoricus, one of the strongest people that a mortal man that you've met with that kind of strength, and even he barely put a dent in it. He did put a little dent in it, but not much of one.
I'm just a dwarf, guys.
How much is left of it like after the shatter? Or after...
Most of it. So like basically it just kind of broke off. If you think of like a diamond at the top, it just kind of like cracked that top little piece off, and then he scratched into it from the top. But I mean, 98% of the crystal is still intact.
And the gobbo is still stuck in there.
Yeah. And now that he's face down, you can't really like gauge his reaction to what's happening. So.
Oh, frack.
Does anyone want to tell any one of us that's not in the know what the fuck is happening right now?
I'm gonna say, I don't think this is working.
Shout it out. Someone know something? The
Yeah,
rest of us don't?
I mean, like, I'm invisible, but I start explaining what I'm like.
Ah!
There you are.
Like, it works on life essence. I think the only way to beat it is to give it too much to eat.
No.
So, who's gonna die? Guys.
All right. I lay a hand on this thing, and I'm just like, shit.
All right, Divot, how many hit points do you want to pump into this thing?
Hey.
Oh my god.
10.
All right. You place your skeleton hand down on it. Now remember, it's not like your hit points are it's like that's how much blood I have. You know, it's like your overall ability to continue to not be dead in a world of conflict and turmoil. You know, and in mental damage, all fatigue, everything. So, though Divot, again, like the mushrooms, though you don't necessarily have supple blood to feed upon, the same kind of experience you have where these crystally roots just like whip out like tendrils and then latch onto your little skeleton hand. And you watch as the bone of your hand starts turning into crystal. You know, you're like, oh shit, I have my hand on this, this could be bad. You watch the crystal start growing even further. It starts growing up to your elbow. You know, all the onlookers, you're kind of looking on as if the last time when he was turned to stone. And you watch, suddenly the crystal starts vibrating, as if the growth can't be sustained from the life force within. And you hear small breaks and shatters from within the crystal. Finally, you watch. The crystal just explodes. You hear the wispy cry of a woman's voice. You guys look around. You know, the kind of pink waves of purple and pink energy just kind of... You wave around, you look down. The crystal now shattered mostly. You know, small bits of it still connected to the stone, but no longer, you know, a complete thing. Shattered crystal shards lay all over the place, each one of them with its own little tendril that's rooting into the ground. You look and you see the withered, broken frame of a goblin. You kind of collectively sigh in relief as you hear his lungs take in a deep breath, able to breathe fully once more. You see the goblin rolls over on his side. You know, his big, wide goblin mouth full of sharp, pointy teeth, his dark, black pupiled eyes kind of shifting around looking at the faces of those who would save him. He doesn't know you. He's quite scared. Please.
I approach him and I try to calm him. Boxxo sent us.
You hear the sound of Boxxo kind of, you see his little sharp, pointy green ears. Beak! Look up at you. Boxxo! Oh, Boxxo! And he just starts crying.
I do a little pat on the back, you know, let him snot into my shoulder.
See, he looks up at you, and, you know, his ears get a little floppy at the point as he kind of relaxes being near you, looking up at you, offering him, you know, just some comfort in this kind of wild moment where he thought his life may be done. You see he tries to move, but his body's pretty weak. Thank you for freeing me. You know, he lays back against this bit of the wall here. You know, especially taking care not to sit on any crystals of any kind. But he just kind of lays against the wall and looks at you. Boxxo sent you.
Yes, Boxxo sent us. Where are your comrades, your friends?
You see he starts crying again. Jingle! Oh, I saw him! I saw him grabbed by the creature. We ran below. No one saved him. Boxxo would be so displeased.
Boxxo is so proud of you. What direction? Down this way? I'm pointing down the rest of the hall.
He looks up at you. He's like, I saw Fuck leading the way. And he points down. He's like, strange magics. The mountain is angry. Boxxo, I must tell Boxxo. And he looks up at you and he's like, so yeah, he points down. You know, again, now that there's a kind of this light source has been shattered and illuminates the way, you look down and you see the path, you know, the mossy ground, the slithery wet mud of this, you know, recently watered cave, you know, continues downward. Not quite so steep, but you have to worry about falling. But again, at the cornerstones of all these writhing green rocks, you see these sprouting little blue teal with a purple tint. You know, that brush of the Feywild that you see that lines the side of the walls everywhere you go. You look down, you know, where the extent of your vision leads you in this point, and it just seems like it continues kind of going down. Eventually you look and it's like it goes farther down than your vision. You know, the roof kind of blocks your gaze. But yeah, about, you know, 50 feet or so away from you, you see it just kind of continues going down into the depths of earth. You feel a kiss of that smell of cinnamon even stronger emanating from below.
Well, I turn back to the rest of the group. Looks like we have to go even deeper to get fuck.
Yeah, you did.
What say you all? I think we cleared the way up to this point, and he will be a liability moving forward.
Why don't we
Should we send him the fuck back to Boxxo?
Yeah, with the piece of his friend that we got, Jingle or... Wait, actually, who's this guy? Did we even get his name?
I want to ask the guy his name.
Did we get his name or a thank you? No?
He said thank you.
Yeah, he said.
Hey.
Don't think
Yeah,
he
he
did.
said thank you.
He
Roll
was
for
very
thanks.
grateful, Thoricus. Very grateful.
You see, Tina's got her arm over him. She's like,
I heard it,
Thoricus.
please. I did hear please. I did not hear thank you.
He looks over.
There you go.
am Bangle the goblin. You see he bows. His
There you
little body
go.
hurts.
Nice to make your acquaintance, Bangle.
Did you
Why
see
don't you-
Jingle? Did he survive?
Nope.
No, we got a piece of him now.
You'll catch him on the way out.
Actually, can you just take him with you so we have proof that there's at least two of you?
You're
We
gonna
got
make
already.
this guy carry his dead friend back when
I
he
don't-
doesn't do us any harm just being in a bag that we can carry?
But I mean,
You're gonna
maybe
make this poor guy do that?
he'll always have a piece of him. You can like turn him into a nice little like claw necklace or something.
Did you say he had something that jingled with his name? He had like a name tag.
He'll make like he'll make like a wind chime he can put out on his porch made out of his friend's hand bones, and it'll just jingle in the wind. See?
I'm boning.
Yeah, you look and you see a small bangle on Bangle's wrist. You're like, yes, of course. Clever name.
While we're all arguing about whether or not to give him his friend's body, how does he respond?
Yeah.
You know he's not thrilled.
Oh god, that's awkward.
With just kind of the cavalier nature of this
Oh,
conversation. You see, he does again. Like it is important to note the goblins that you have encountered in your adventures along the way are little more than semi-intelligent monsters. You know, and the rumors of them, the way they're spoken of, it's they're kind of evil, chaotic, evil creatures. And these, you're watching a goblin cry right now, which is just like,
Right.
wait, what? It would be like, like a great white shark just crying in front of you. Not
I
I'm
think
terrible.
just chaotic misunderstood.
But
Aww.
yeah, this is like again, you're all kind of worldly people. You know of the there's the great beasts that are bad and the ones that are good, and some of the things that lie in between. But again, these goblins that you've met, with the exception of Jingle, who was super dead, they seem to have a compassion in them that is striking to you.
I dig it.
But again, hearing the conversation, you see he looks up and he's like, I may have saved him. I ran away. I would happily carry his essence to pay him back. You see, so he's like, yeah, I can do that. It sounds a little weird. Sure.
No, weird.
That's really dope of you.
Yeah.
Would you
totally.
fasten him on a backpack that I could wear, perhaps?
Wait.
Whoa.
All right.
Backpack?
Okay, all right.
Come on there, guy.
It's okay.
We just make him into a backpack, like with the arms and like.
Yeah.
Bruno's gonna take one of her satchels off and like open it up. Like, all right, okay, it's okay. I'll just pick up another one later. It's all right.
You pull like another satchel out of it. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
guys, here we go.
Yeah, Satchel Daddy.
Yeah.
Satchel Daddy.
Wow,
Daddy
this
Satchels.
one's for you.
That's
It's your like matching color schemes.
And she presents, this sweetly donated satchel. I mean, that ought to make Bangle feel a little better. I do want to let him know I'm like, nothing you could have done. There's some strange magic here, friend. While reaching into the Krampus sack, and then I'll do it away from him, but I'll pull the body out and just stuff it in the satchel. He already
Alright.
knows what he's doing. He doesn't need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of shield him from the horror of what's left of Jingle. You know, if you'll recall, not to go too far back to the lake chicken description,
Jesus.
but it's a bit of a mess what you have left of him. And you know, as you kind of like gather the goop from the bag within the bag of Krampus's sack, you know, again, you kind of like shield him from the worst of it as you kind of set it into this satchel, and you more of pour it in.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the backpack's not the best. A jar might have worked better. But you see as he hears the kind of like soupy slosh of the remains of his friend and ally land in the leather bag. His eyes kind of grow heavy, but you see him again. He said he would do this. He considers it a bit of a redeeming, you know, of a redemption for him to bring him back. So you see,
You've been very brave.
thank you. And he just looks up at you, antenna once more, you know, as you've now seen nearly a dozen people do it. He looks up at you the way people stare, you know, at a saint, as if he sees something within you that, you know, you're starting to actually feel yourself. And he just looks up at you, and his dark eyes dart, and you see him, he kind of look to you for strength. When you give it to him, he stands a little taller, you know, his body's still weak, the sloshing
I
remains.
connect with him, and like our humanity in each other greets each other. Go back to Boxxo now.
Yes, back to Boxxo. You see, he starts walking away, and then he stops for a moment and looks back, you know, at all these shattered small crystals. Bad magics, green goblins. And he just starts up the muddy slope. You know, you see him slipping. It's a little hard for him to get back up that way. But if you'll recall, Boxxo had assured you that his boys would know how to get back. So he starts kind of up this muddy path, you know, sure to be mindful of the blood-sucking mushrooms and the like.
Be careful up there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking
Later
maybe-
days, bro.
Just in case we have to collect any more of his friends' dead bodies, he could have carried them all back.
Could he have?
He did look pretty weak, though.
True.
If he was willing to do one, he'd probably be willing to do the rest. Maybe not fuck.
Let's just assume no more bodies need to be carried.
How about that?
Yeah.
I like your positive thinking.
And then I'm like mentally to him like, that was a good idea though.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to take
No
a.
hair, guys.
I want to take a peek down this way. Progress.
You know, yeah, you see, you know, kind of mindful now with the threat of these like dangerous plants. You're not really like quick to throw your legs into these strange writhing brambles on the ground. You kind of walk through the moss-covered mud, and you start watching as the slope of the earth goes deeper. And Thoricus, you're more familiar with your time in the earth. It's like as you get closer, you know, deep within a lot of these old places, there's these pockets of warm gas that come from, you know, like what's within the earth. And this, strangely, is getting like colder by degree, like rather than over time as you would assume going deeper into the earth. And it starts to where like all of you have these like goosebumps that are running up your arms and spines. You feel that cold wind as if you're standing on that snowy battlefield once more. You know, for a moment you kind of start daydreaming collectively of that standing on that white barren plain, the worst map ever created in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and the face of this crystalline sharp featured Queen Mab, you know, growing like the mummy in the mummy, you know, across you on this snowy plain, and you all kind of
worst.
it was the worst.
Worst.
We have it documented. We found the worst map. ever made. And yeah, so you guys all kind of at the same time go, you know, and like look around at each other, like you all just shared a collective like remembrance of that place. You feel that smell of cinnamon, the heavy moisturized, you know, kind of magical essence, that mist of magical energy as you kind of go deeper within. It grows more and more pungent. You see as it kind of curves around to the left, there's like a small cliff edge that goes down to a little earthen area. Sunk in, there's like a really muddy slope that goes down. And you see, rather than just like small branches of those little strange flowers, you know, all on the base of the stone, there's this writhing wall. As if the mountain itself was actually made out of these plants in this area. You see it goes up 50 feet, the entire wall, as if the stone in this place is somehow morphed into these magic leaves. You see the walls breathe. It sounds like this deep, choked air that just rises from the deep caverns within the earth. You see this sprawling wall of twisting plants as the cave continues going off down to the left. And that's where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys.
Man.
Ooh.
Damn
Ooh,
it.
I promise I'm doing it now because we won't want to do it later. Yeah, hang out. Holy crap, guys. Ooh, we like to do a little intermission around here. Gives us a chance to refill our waters, use the restroom. Gotta hydrate, everybody. Make sure that you're drinking a lot of water. That's just as important to us. Big water. We're coming for you. Please enjoy this this intermission. Honestly, one of my favorite things about this show is our intermission, and that's the weirdest thing to say in the world. But we just get to highlight a lot of this incredible art that has been made for and around this project. A ton of really talented artists have sent in just incredible works, and it makes every day amazing just to see these things. Layer that on with the beautiful music of Sandy Stein, who does all of our original music for this show. All of this, everything you hear has been designed by this one brilliant man who has now for almost a year just consistently delivered time and time again. So please listen to this beautiful music at the proper volume, not underscoring our shenanigans. Enjoy yourself. 10 minutes. We'll be back. Tell your friends. WeeDnD. We are coming at you in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna light this. I've been smoking all night. Welcome back, buds, to Weed&d, that positive live tabletop role-playing experience people have been talking about. Whew, what a little magical adventure as the five have continued deeper within these strange fey caves within the Malachite Mountains. We join the action, now in progress. I'll never do that again. All right. You guys are still standing in this sprawling, shifting green tunnels and walls. I've kind of revealed the area now. You see here in this far corner, probably a good 80 feet away from where you guys are, down the slimy moss-covered path that leads down to the little, area below the cliff's edge there. You see, this writhing, shifting wall of these fey plants. It seems like it's breathing. Gusts of wind blowing in either direction up and down this path as these great, deep, withered breaths are taken from this wall of shifting plant life. You feel the wind blowing up, that kiss of cinnamon in the air, the dank wetness of magic all around you. You hear the crystals behind you, the small shatters, now rooting themselves into the ground once more, continuing to grow from small shards, much slower now, without a fuel source to feed their growth. You look down, you see the slithering, green tunnel that goes down, the plant life from the Feywild on the ground on either side. What do?
I'm gonna walk towards it.
I said, there we go. I knew that would happen.
All right. Is everything good?
That wasn't embarrassing at all. Nope, not even slightly.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what, if you want to know what my face looks like when I think I'm about to die, just slow down, capture that little moment, screenshot.
That's it, baby.
Everything's fine. I'm covered in water.
Do you feel like you're alive right now? Like your heart jumped up into your butt or something? Like,
Yeah! I feel so
what
good.
a great reminder that you are alive.
I'm ready. I'm a little refreshed. I got water all over me, too. That was nice. There's ice in it.
That'll
Ooh,
happen.
I'm feeling it.
Right.
The chill of
Beautiful.
the Feywild.
I'm gonna walk down this hallway. Do I see any sort of like traps or any like other creatures or anything?
So again, the ground of these caves seems like really wet. So it's kind of this like mossy, shifting earth. Your boots kind of stick in the mud as you walk. These caves seemingly carved by water of some sort. You imagine that some has recently come through. Perhaps this purple and pink water that you've seen, kind of puddled around the edges. But yeah, no, you're looking. You're not seeing much in the way of tracks. But it is pretty clear, down the center of this moss that there has been traffic this way. It's like you can't make out any indistinct, steps or anything. The shifting mud is kind of resettled. But there's definitely like areas where there's not a lot of moss, and the only way that would really happen with this kind of moisture, is people tracking through this area. So, as you kind of walk down the cave closer and closer, the wheezing, breathing sound gets louder and more groany as you approach. You see the shifting wall of these blue and teal leaves just breathing like giant plant lungs.
Well, I was gonna ask, are we inside a fucking adamantoise? Like I said, I was gonna be pissed about. Because it seems like we're inside of like Godzilla or something like that, like
Throw my notes
slimy
away.
corridors and breathy lung things and.
We're inside
Is that what's going on? Or are we
Yeah.
inside?
Can I like? Do I perceive anything, or can I do like any animal? Anything just to see if I'm aware that we're in some sort of creature, or is this
No, that's
thing
a
just
fair
creature?
question based on all of the descriptions that I've given you so far. You might be a little paranoid, but I understand. But no, it's again to dissuade your fears. It doesn't quite seem like that's the case. You're not like walking down the esophagus of a giant snake or anything.
Okay.
Like that.
That's all I wanted to know.
This breathing plant wall is a little different than the fare that you've encountered, anything up to this point, and does have some weird life. Again, like it breathes, you're hearing this wheeze of troubled air coming from in and out of it. So that does strike you as a little odd.
Yeah, I feel the life energy radiating off of it, and I wonder if there's anything about this plant that like might tell me about the area ahead a little bit.
So Tina, from where you're at now, you're kind of just like peeking over the shoulders of your group. If you want to like go and approach the thing, I know it's a little unclear because we're kind of in a top down here, but there is like a small like 5-foot cliff edge right here. So if you want to like go up and investigate or whatever, you'd have to kind of move over into that area. But from where you're at, you can see it's moving again. You quickly know that it's like this plant life is not plant matter of the prime material plane. These plants are from the Feywild, and though they bream with nature, it's a wild, untamed nature that isn't represented by your god Shantia, goddess of the harvest. So you can pretty easily from where you are, these are indeed this writhing wall. The life that is present here is Fey life, kind of staining the inside of this cave.
Ooh, feels pretty Fey-y in here to me. What do you guys think?
I have a question. Are all of these plant wall things part of the same being? Are they all separate?
So,
Yeah, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Thorcus, as you kind of like lay your eyes on this writhing wall, you're kind of looking, it's like, is the shifting stone wall, again, you're more comfortable with stone than the rest of them. Being this deep in the cave is not really anything for you. For you guys, the lack of fresh air is starting to be a little striking, particularly the ocean-bound Brunor, the serpent, who spent most of her life on the waters and in the ocean, in the air. This kind of like cramped environment, the walls kind of closing in on you as they shift in the stone. You don't, looking at it, you're like, I'm not sure that you would be like, this is particularly like one, like the bush along the path and everything, like one essence. You are welcome to test that theory however you like. But from where you guys are, just kind of basically just glancing at this thing from about 25 feet away, you don't really deduce too much more than that it is alive, this thing, these lungs in whatever capacity, what they mean.
Right.
You don't really know, but you do know that they are plants of the Feywild, to be sure, and that whatever this life is, it seems to be taxed, like it seems to be having a hard time. The air itself is not healthy breath, lung breath.
The reason I was asking that is because if Tina could banish it back to the Feywild, if it was like a living being of some sort, and then we wouldn't have to fuck with it. It would just be somewhere else for a minute, and then we could just pass through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we can just sneak seas by it.
Yeah,
too.
That's a great idea, Thoricus. Yeah.
Yeah, now
sounds-
Tina, your banished magic, it's like if it's from a different plane, you send it to that plane, and if you sustain concentration on that spell for a minute, it stays there. So that you can certainly try.
We might as well give it a shot, I say, as I cast the spell.
I mean, it is, that's some of your big magic, but I like this. So, Tina,
Yeah.
you're going to, again, what's the range on Banish? I think you
It's
have
60
to touch.
feet.
Oh, okay, cool. So you can do it from where you are.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do it from where I'm at.
It
If
costs
not,
60 feet.
I'm going Papa Sketty on this thing.
All right. 4th level spell, High Magic. Tina, this kiss of cinnamon, this sleight of madness that you've danced with several times before, in your porcelain dress and your candy cane mace, as you've spent more time in it, grown as an adventurer, gained in levels, gained in magical power, you're starting to learn the nature of this wild nature. Even though not the nature you have control over, you're more familiar with it. And as you look at the twisting plant and you start, calling upon the magic of this banishment, you start seeing the Feywild in your mind. And suddenly your real eyes showing you the vines, in front of you, and then a second pair of eyes showing you this faraway place. The white light of banishment is cast. Now, I don't have a way to represent this on the map, which I apologize. But this is what you see. First off, it gets a charisma saving throw. So what is the DC of the spell for you, Tina? What's your spell save DC?
Where is that?
Should
Sorry.
be on your spell page. It should be near the top of it.
Oh, 15.
Sweet. All right. So, and it is a charisma saving throw. So it gets +2 to this. And what does it need? It needs a 16.
Plant. How charismatic could it be? This is horseshit.
It's a very charismatic
It's a
plant.
nice plant.
It better be Audrey too on the other side of that thing.
All right, so hey, he rolled an 8. That gives him a 10, which is not good enough. So Tina, you see the piercing white light kind of start emanating from your hand, calling upon some of the strongest magic that you can control, calling upon your own force of nature. And you see where the Feywild blue and teal plant leaves are. You start watching as green roots of rose petals, or of roses, start growing around them as you kind of force your nature over theirs. You watch as this wall slowly starts shifting and changing. You see the creature, the life essence of this Fey spirit held within this breathing lungs, disappears.
Ooh.
And you see in its
Hell
place,
yeah.
you hear a healthy breath as wind continues to emanate from this passage behind. And you see, rather than the twisting brambles of the Feywild, it's these twisting rose petals and thorns over these rock lungs that writhe like the green rock of the wall that surrounds you.
As I concentrate on it here, I let my magic envelop its magic and try to heal it in the only way I know possible.
You watch as the purification of this life energy, the power granted you by Shantia, the great flushing river within, is kind of yielded as again your two pairs of eyes seeing these two places, almost watching as this brambly bush disappears from your world and then is teleported to this other place. You have to stand there and focus for a full minute before you're able to fully complete the transformation. You see the air from within this area. You hear a voice. My children, thank you. The blight of the Feywild weakens these mountains. I can breathe again. You see the shifting stone. Two eyes made of earth form about 4 feet wide in front of you on the southwest wall. Now the lungs opening, the sound of the vocals coming from within. It's like the lungs themselves are the mouth of this wall, this creature of stone. She's here, the queen. She will root herself in my mountain. You see the eyes look at each of you. If you do not stop her.
If we don't stop her, what?
The queen. She cannot root in the realm of men.
She seems like she sucks.
She is very powerful. Has found a way to the other side, where she should not be.
He was like, yes, she super sucks.
She seriously sucks, bro.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Damn, alright.
You're kind of you're standing farthest here, down this slope as you're kind of watching this face. You can't help but suddenly notice this strange pulsing purple light just faintly shining from around this corner here. Similar to the kind of eerie purple light that you saw when first approaching the crystal formation.
There's a lot of Fey magic around here. What's next?
Yo, I'm still invisible, so I'll peek around that corner.
Same
It
as
went
this.
so well last time.
Tree Man, did you see any goblins around here?
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's ask the rock monster. Well, first off, introduce ourselves. It's only
Hello.
polite.
Yes, hello. I am
Hello,
Free
we're the
Free,
Five.
This is
Hi.
Serpent. Hello, we're the Five. That's Tina, smooth hands.
So,
Stone eyes
Dorcas.
shift and look at each of you as you talk.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I am the mountain. You see the eyes blink
yes.
and little stones fall out of the corners of the eyes. I once lived as you in ancient times. And you feel, no longer the misty cinnamon smell, but the kind of deep smell of an ancient cave. Thorcus, it's kind of like, it reminds you a little bit of home, as these billowing breaths of this no longer tainted magic kind of wash over you guys, filling the air with a breathable essence, as if this life magic, these tangling roots of roses and vines, are serving to create breathable air for you in this space as well.
Dope.
And I feel like while I'm concentrating, my breathing has lined up with the mountain's breathing. So we're connected in that way.
Yeah, you feel a much more natural, connection to this place now. Almost a reverence of sort, Tina, to the kind of natural power. Knowing a little bit about, the rumors of, the world's creation. It's like originally there were great giants that fought, titans that battled, and when they died, they became the earth of Everendel, And so it's like kind of the idea of what he's speaking about is you might be talking to one of these ancient spirits, as old as Everendel itself. But yes, a rather powerful creature, seemingly weakened, even though, the breath is much more clear. You sense, a fatigue in his words, the blight of this Fey-Tainted in these caves seemingly taking its toll. Bless you.
Salud.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
Bless you.
Dude, what?
So,
No
Mr.
goblin?
Mountain, very nice to meet you. Have you seen any goblins? I believe Jangle and Bingle and Fuck are left. I think
They
those are the
followed.
ones.
Jangle, Bingle, and Fuck, yeah.
Retcon. Remember, it's official. It's canon. That was always his name. If you go back and look, you're wrong. You see the cave. They followed the little girl. Such an unremarkable child.
No.
No.
Who?
Oh.
I can barely fucking remember her. She's... It's like trying to remember the words of a song that your dad used to play that you didn't like very much.
Right.
It's like spaghetti with no sauce on it.
Oh, God.
A book with no ink. Just seriously, what is with that girl? She was so unremarkable. The mountain
Was she
never
walking on 2 legs or 4?
Backwards with her head kind of upside down.
Oh, what a weird question.
Yeah.
You guys
That was
must
the
have seen
most
some
remarkable
strange
thing
shit.
about her.
She walked on 2 legs,
Excellent.
dancing as if she heard a song. The goblins followed her below. I hear no sound of them in the rock.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for us as we go deeper?
And is there maybe anything we can do to help you get better, Mr. the Mountain?
Purify the taint.
I knew this was gonna get weird. I just very surprised it took this long. And how do we purify the taint, Mr. the Mountain?
We have to dip them in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Pancakes.
You asked, You ask the question, you
Challenge
receive
him.
the answer.
Right, bitches.
Computer blue. Darling Pinky. Sorry, I'm so sorry. We've devolved into
Jay.
show codes.
Shoot it.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. All right, yeah, you see,
Sorry.
he says the queen seeds just below our taint, our contamination must be destroyed. You see the eyes, like hanging heavily as if even having this conversation with you a little taxing on the life essence of this ancient being. Destroy the crystals. Send her back from whence she came. Tina, your normal eyes return. The banished creature now returned to the Feywild.
Nice.
Again, although I know the map doesn't show that, just imagine there being rocks right there, because that was cool. And the rocks, they look just like those plants for some reason.
Right.
Cool. Good for it.
Good.
We've come a long way from the snow map, guys. Come on.
They're really planty rocks. They're so planty you swear you might get a splinter from those rocks.
Super,
Just like,
super planty rocks, bro. All right, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, you see as this this conversation itself is seeming pretty taxing on the energy of the spirit in the moment. But yeah, he's asked you to blight, these strange crystals, seemingly some
Right.
some like
just like
infection
the
of
ones
sorts.
that we just destroyed, right?
So, again, you didn't actually destroy those crystals. You did manage to break them into really small crystals, but they, they're very tiny. They don't have life, but they aren't necessarily dead. You saw all the little laying tendrils around, not really able to grow without having life to sustain them. So there are, however, a bunch of crystal shards and stuff over here on the ground.
the seeds that he mentioned.
Yeah, you've pulled the plant out of the ground and then tore it to pieces, but it's still there on the ground.
Okay. Is the spirit able to answer one last question?
Yeah, ask away.
Is there a better way to get rid of those crystals than what we've tried so far? Just so we're not wasting a whole bunch of fucking time trying to do that and figure that out again. You might know, since it's on your taint. What better person to ask?
It feeds of life. My own life taken. Oh, blood. Blood is the answer. Life. Life is the answer. You see the eyes kind of close. You see just the slowly breathing lungs once more.
Yeah, before he fades out, I'll at least let him know, we've fended off Queen Mob before. We'll do it again. Your taint is safe with us.
She's like, dope. As his eye just closes. But yeah, you sense again. There's great weakness in the spirit currently. Apparently, this presence of all this Fey energy is affecting the life force of this ancient creature that claims to be the mountain, to be the very Malachite Mountain itself. Whatever. But yeah, so you guys are kind of standing there, still kind of near this cliff edge, and again, you kind of see that shimmering, ghostly purple and white light, kind of emanating from around the bend.
Yeah.
I know it's
Did you
difficult.
guys notice how he didn't answer the question? We already knew it was life energy, bro. Come on.
Tina also you get a inspiration point for that, and so does Thorkus, because that was I really liked that idea.
No.
That was some good teamwork there. I like that.
That fucking team.
Remember, you can use those anytime. It's basically, you can use that to grant yourself an additional d20 roll on any of your ability checks, attacks, saving throws, things like that. Valuable little resource. You can only have one at a time, but you can use that, if the stakes are dire.
Yeah.
Awesome little idea there. I'm sorry I couldn't support it with the map. That was a better idea than my map design.
Sorry.
Well, shall we forge ahead? See if we can't scrub this taint?
Are we just not gonna deal with the other crystals back there, or we're just gonna keep moving forward instead
You
of...
mentioned that the seeds of Queen Mob were below. The seeds were in the taint. If we take care of those, perhaps.
Yeah.
Without-
Maybe an
We'll
on the
stop.
way out thing?
Right. So there's a bunch of veiny death balloons near the taint. Okay.
Sounds like it.
All right. Well, I'm all for it. Let's get them.
Are we?
Don't
Are we
sound
sure
so
we don't want to
excited.
go around the taint?
All
Is
right.
there a path around the taint?
Currently, you just see this continuing path below as you guys kind of move beyond, the healthier, lungs now, breathing with a calm air. Still, tired and weak. The eyes of the stone now closed, but you feel like whatever was occurring right there to that life energy has been in some way saved.
Do we have any more bud that we can just like light in front of these lungs and let him breathe while he sleeps?
Like hit this dude.
Oh.
More of those.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
give him sleep
invisible,
much
but I'll
better.
light up.
You hit him with like a dope indica, and he's like,
Right.
yeah, dope.
Sleep that shit off, bro.
Dope. Yeah. All right, so as you guys kind of make your way around this corner beyond the cliff edge and the breathing lungs, you notice that as it slopes downward once more, kind of a pretty 30% degree pitch, kind of going downward on these slippery mossy grounds. You start to notice these small little strings of blue and white, strings, just kind of scattered on the ground. You see the white and purple veins similar to what you saw around the base of the last crystal feature as your eyes kind of adjust and look downward. You see the beams of light, echoing and shooting a bit of a shimmering light toward the corner of what you see here. Divot, make me a perception check.
All right.
So up ahead in the distance, we saw a shimmering light. Is that what you're saying?
Your heads grow heavy. How'd I do
Well,
that?
guys, we should probably stop for the night.
All right. All right, so you guys, you're like looking down this walkway here, and the kind of steep pitch of the ceiling kind of allows you to see. It looks like in front of you, it opens up to a much larger cavern. You hear this strange running water sound. Kind of as you get closer and closer, you feel and what sounds like the softest fall of like a river, like a waterfall. You just hear this very soft, delicate, a little heavier than mist, but not as quite as heavy as water itself, trickling down in the distance. You hear that sound filling up a large crevice, an aired cavern. You feel like the roof ceiling opens up ahead of where you go. You look forward, and about 50 feet in front of you, as the small strains of light crystal blue and white filaments seem to be stretched across the ground, kind of in contrast to these purple and white crags on the green mossy ground. You see in the far corner a electric blue and white spider web. Splattered up, about 4 feet up this wall cavern, pitched to either side, set perfectly in the corner. It shimmers and glows with this like strange electric blue color. And you see as in front of it the ground still continuously veiny with these white and purple veins. And so from where you guys are right there, this is what you see. You see the green writhing stone wall kind of breaks out and opens up to a much larger canyon area in front of there. You're all kind of stop. You're listening to the sound of faint falling water, the soft, rivery sound echoing in this air. You hear this faint ticking coming from within. You look and you kind of see the back of this strange goblin creature, kind of hunched over, the light kind of washing the backside of his head, and you see this like really bright emerald green skin, almost like his skin itself were made of gemstone. His feet are saddled on the back of what appears to be a rather large spider. You see his legs just kind of hooked under the back, at the abdomen, as he's kind of like working on something in front of him. As you, Rial, you specifically kind of see that from around this little corner here. But you hear this, and you see the little goblin body, but not aware of you guys at this point. What do you do?
Can I sneak up to Earsies to get a better look, being very careful not to step on any of those weird things on the ground you were talking about?
Yes, being mindful of those steps, Divot. Again, you're still invisible at this point, right? I just wanted to double check.
Indeed.
So
And
yeah,
I tell the gang what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm gonna go.
Okay. So, Divot, you kind of, being mindful, you move a little slower. You guys, all you see are these little, foot impressions in the mud as he kind of walks down, carefully avoiding these strange blue and white filaments. You kind of, settle up around the corner like you did before. Take your little vest of eyes and peek around the corner. And you see a spectacular sight. A massive 15-foot tall purple crystal stands just jetting up from the ground. Shards of different crystals, probably 8 in number, ranging between 10 and 8 feet, shoot off in all directions around it. You see at its base are these large swaths of this electric blue and white webbing. You see it stretches out for 10 feet in most directions around this giant crystal base. You see these the rest of this goblin as he's riding the back of this giant spider, as the spider is ticking at this strange purple crystal. And you see the goblin with his finger is feeding magic energy and shooting it into the crystals. Your vest of eyes, they all start kind of shifting and trying to get as much as they can see. You see another of these strange spiders with another of these green goblins kind of to the south at the base of it, working on another spot in the crystal. And as your eyes focus, you see that there's actually shadows inside of these crystals. You see at the base on the right side, another goblin's frame. You look at the middle of the center base, another goblin. At the far side, as one jetting crystal sticks out, a third goblin. In the center of this massive crystal divot is the blue, bright light that you saw at the core of Glacius. It's unmistakable. It's the same pulsing blue light that was at the core of Glacius's massive ice body as you battled him in the Feywild. You see that blue light just pulsating. And as it does, the vines, those crystalline veins within the crystal structures are absorbing life from all of these figures. There are 2 more things that stand out to you, Divot. There is a purpley pink waterfall of this mist-like water, falling at the speed half as fast as water should, that pools in this great purple pool of water to the north, and another giant pool of water from where that water has run down to the southeast. You see these electric blue spider webs almost in all of the corners and splattered around various stretches of the walls. The last thing that you notice is in the peak of the giant 15-foot tall crystal, just feet above where the emanating blue light of Glacius pulses. You see the unremarkable face of Esmeralda, just frozen in stone, or in crystal. Still expressionless. You almost forget about her immediately. But, Divot, this is what you see.
Whoa. Oh, man.
So, it is in this moment, Divot, that your poor perception save has failed you. And though you are invisible, so too is it, and can also see you. And got a 22 on her stealth check. Suddenly, Divot, you hear a shuffling of rock from above you. And you look up, and you can see invisible things, but it's a little too late. The trap has been sprung. You see falling down from above you this giant crystalline spider. Just like the phase spiders that you fought before, but this one is 8 feet tall. Its back legs and abdomen and thorax are all this brilliant white and blue crystalline spider frame. But at its waist, you see it's mangled, and there's these strange purple and blue crystals that have rooted the top half of a drow elf, where the head of the spider should be. Now, you've heard of driders before, drow elves cursed by failing their trial to the spider god Lolth. This appears to be a phase drider, an abomination of the plane that it goes, the ethereal plane. You see, none of you notice this, but suddenly as it drops down and makes its first attack on you, Divot, it will be kicking off the initiative. It takes a bite at you with advantage and some sneak attack. It only gets plus 7 to hit. Boom. 16 AC.
I don't still have that shield, do I?
Ooh, that's
Oh.
that conversation was D&D time is wibbly wobbly. What a cool little thing that we had. What a waste it would be to not let it have an effect. Sure, you what was it? Plus 2 AC?
Yeah. So
Yes,
that would
you see
put
the
my-
shimmering magic in front of you.
All right, then that's a miss.
Dope. All right, so
Oh,
yeah, you see
yeah.
it, the shield serving its purpose, the strange wild magic that reacted from when you cast it in the presence of those crystals, something to be mindful of. You managed to pass, so or it misses. So suddenly this Fey Spider appears from invisible right next to you, Divot.
Oh my god!
Whoa. Whoa, I hate that.
No fight.
Oh no!
Yes, you see the striking black skin of the drow elves. Her body strangely rooted to this massive, giant blue and crystalline colored spider that pops up. Hey guys, this is gonna be everybody roll some initiative.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
Oh jeez.
Let me open the turn order. I always forget.
Oh,
and then
right.
Thoricus
And we
wastes
gotta
a turn.
select a token.
Like, yo, tokens.
Wait, I'm not counting any of these. I'm gonna clear this. This is. I'm still a little clunky at this. I won't lie.
Yeah, don't roll
Remove all
anything
turns.
yet, Drew.
None of this. Yeah, save your hot roll.
You know I'm not gonna click now.
Now you
Okay,
can.
now.
Yeah. Select your token. Give
Blam.
yourself-
Well, all right.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, 3. Oh.
Ooh, that's a 1 too. That's a.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Shit, crit.
God, I don't think I'm ready for it.
Yo, double crits. We got a 1 and a 20.
I think it's a dirty 20.
Susio 20.
I like your idea. Though. Don't get me wrong, I'll hit that. So currently, because of this setup, the other spiders have not engaged in this. You see this massive spider that jumped down, definitely more than capable of creating some of these more massive webs that you see around you, but not rolling too hot on her initiative either. And sort descending. All right, so Real, Divot, Brunor, Thoricus. I got some Tina. Is that everybody? I believe it is. So Real, you watch as this beast kind of blows its surprise attack, seeing a creature with this great magical robe. Taking its opportunity to attack from the open space above, shifting between the ethereal plane and the prime-material plane seemingly at will. This Fey Spider flashes in. You see Divot, the magic shield that had been granted him by this wild magic, saving him in this moment from a terrific bite from the face of this drow creature. Real, what do you do?
I shoot it.
Yeah.
It's literally just that instinct. Like, the spider comes out of nowhere. Divot comes out of nowhere. Where's Divot's beard? There's a lot of questions, but as those are rattling in my head, like, we gotta test out. Son of a birch!
Oh,
And then,
Right?
Son of a birch.
Daughter
Daughter
of
of
birch. So I shoot that at the drow spider hybrid, whatever the fuck that is. 15 AC?
I'm sorry, Dude, no, it has a 19 AC. You watch as the arrow just like, boom, just bounces right off the crystalline shell. It's almost like the body itself, rather than just appearing crystalline, is actually maybe made of some crystal. You watch as your arrow, your first shot, bounces off.
Yikes. Yikes, that's no good. Well, gonna dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Shift back around the corner like, whoa, sorry.
Yeah,
No.
never mind.
I'll go a little more ahead just so we can. But yeah, I want to let the gang know. Like,
You hear
they see it, they know.
the The
We'll see
creature
what
screeches
happens.
as it misses. You know, it had this prime sneak attack on Divot, totally whiffed. Sucks to suck. But yeah, the creature seemingly focused and still on this creature with all the many eyes in front of it. And you're able to kind of tuck in behind that rock face there. Go ahead and give me a stealth.
Hey, I know how he feels. I just fucking biffed mine too, so.
You guys like relate. It's like.
Yeah, but you. Yeah,
Right.
Stealth check. And a low. The one time.
Rules are rules, guys.
Oh my god.
Onwards.
There we
I'm not gonna
go.
finish this fucking game.
I'm gonna put it in that little thing. Be classy. Be
Ooh.
classy about it.
Bougie.
Oh, hello.
Ooh.
Sassy.
All right.
Look at my little thingy.
Rial, that's the end of your turn.
Oh,
Divot,
okay.
you are up.
All right. That guy just scared the shit out of me. And as soon as he drops down, she drops down. She scares the shit out of me, and I'm like, just like a ninja. I'm like, avoid. Sha.
Do that thing.
And when I whisper, sha, that's my dissonant whisper.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
+3 to this. They are rather wise creatures. I got an 8.
All right. Well, they'd have had to do better than that.
So it fails. It takes 3d6 psychic damage. So go ahead and give me the 3d6. And it immediately uses its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows. That's right. You did this to the giant before. All right. Sweet. So it takes 8 damage. Very nice. And it does have a reaction because it did not. It didn't take an AOO at Divot or anything. So it does use its reaction to move its movement speed, which is 30 feet, and it does so up this wall. And you see it kind of like settles near the top of this spider web in the northwestern corner of the chambers. You see some of the shimmering blue threads, in the area around it. But it does use it. It's not its turn, so yeah, it doesn't get to do that. So it's just, that's where it is right now. It used it to run away, and it doesn't move into dangerous ground, so it's just hanging out at the top of that little web there. You see it kind of hissing as it hears these strange whispers within its head, backing up into the corner, up the wall. The queen! She's angry! Must protect the queen!
Cool.
Ew.
Ew.
Gross.
Fucking speed raise.
No, thanks.
Speed rays in the mount hand.
Speed raise.
God.
You guys.
All right. I can still do Mantle of Inspiration, right, as a bonus action.
You can, yeah.
Is everybody all topped off on temporary hit points right now still, though?
No, all mine got taken, but
We're gonna need them.
I think Divot, yours would have gone away too with if you had any. When you gave the 10 hit points, it would have come from the temporary hit points first.
Yeah. Can I give it to myself? I always forget.
A number of creatures you can see and who can see you. You are a creature and you can see you.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue with you. All right, yeah. So I'll do that. I'll burn a bardic inspiration, and I'll take one. Who else needs it? Eight temporary hit points.
I'll take
it.
some if you're giving them.
All right, Thoricus, Tina, myself,
I'm good.
and
The phased rider's like, me too.
Rial.
Nice.
All right, you guys also remember part of the stipulation of this. You can right now use your reaction to move up to your speed without provoking attacks of opportunity. So whoever got those temporary hit points can make that decision now.
Oh, and I still get to use my movement for my turn, right?
Right. Just let's resolve the Mantle of Inspiration movement. And then
Okay,
we'll
yeah,
finish
my
your turn.
bad.
You're good. I just don't. I get going between those two things. I lose track of whose turn it is. So, but yeah. So anybody that got the temporary hit points, if you want to right now, you can use your reaction to move your movement speed without provoking any attacks of opportunity.
I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna stay where I am, kind of assessing what this crazy little spider's gonna do next.
Yeah, kind of a terrifying thing. It did. No, it phased in, so it can't phase out until its next turn. So yeah. Anybody else want to move?
Well, I was gonna say, without invoking attacks of opportunity, does that involve like setting off traps and shit like that too? Of course it doesn't. Well, with my awesome perception, the
way it would kind of work, I would say, because like there's not direct areas of web directly right there. There is underneath the crystal, but there are these little threads everywhere. If you wanted to, you can kind of move cautiously and move half your speed and not step on any web. If not, then there's a chance you might.
Yo, just by the way, because Dissonant Whisper was concentration, I'm no longer invisible.
Gotcha. Sweet. You guys see the sweet robe of eyes. Tina, one of them always strikingly staring back at you, the amethyst eye of your former love. But yes, the which Mantle of Inspiration you turn? Are you doing the six-eyed bear again, Divot?
No, I want to be six-eyed bear, but with spider legs. But instead of being crystal, they're super hairy.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
8-legged, six-eyed spider bear. Dope. Appears and grants you all this inspiration that allows you to both receive the temporary hit points and move. Did anybody else want to move, or is it back to the end of Divot's turn?
I'll give a scooch. I'll keep moving this way, kind of where Divot was before, just to kind of get a peek around the corner of the whole shit show.
And yeah, your eyes befall, this sight. As your ears peek around the corner, you hear the tipping of these spiders that seemingly are just working away on these crystals. You see the pulsating blue eye, the essence of Glacius, as best you know it. It strikes in your mind immediately, watching it disappear when last you saw it. And yeah, the horrible, massive electrical, seemingly blue electric spider webs in all directions around the base. You see Esmeralda, you see the three goblins, you see the veins drawing the life force from within them. You see the Drider in the other corner. That's a pretty intense thing going on here for your reality.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So if that's the end of the moves, then Divot, you used your reaction to move as well. And then you're free to do whatever you got left.
All right, so remembering how much strength I drew when I was in the Feywild, and seeing that big waterfall of pink mist, and seeing how many enemies we have, I'm like, I have to go for the goo, and I'm just gonna sprint right into this Feywild pink mist waterfall.
You guys need to know that when I make maps now, all I think about is like, what's Gus gonna do in this map? And then every time he'll get me. No, this is good. So yeah, Divot, this purple river of magic. You've seen this water before. There's these silvery wisps of magical energy that just float around like fish in the water. You run and you let the waterfall kind of, again, it drops at about half the speed of water, and it doesn't feel like it presses you down, but rather, just absorbs around the outside of your skin.
It lifts me up.
And
I was totally thinking that.
all right, Divot, you kind of, you guys see as Divot, well, only Real sees, you see Divot kind of disappear underneath this waterfall until his next turn. So now, hilariously, in initiative, we go from a 20 to a 9 as the next highest, which is going to be you, Brunor.
Hey! 9, baby! Cool. Is there any way that I can, see if okay, so that spider appeared, scared the shit out of all of us. Is there any way from where I'm standing I'd be able to see if there's any more shenanigans in that hallway?
Directly in front of you? Like kind
Yes,
of down
like-
that cave.
like-
Yeah, totally. Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay, because I don't want to like. I mean, I saw everyone else kind of go up that way without anything happening yet, but I just don't want to be surprised by any more spiders. And I rolled a 10, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what you see, what has been kind of made. You do notice that you're like, all right, if I go down there, and I'm cautious about where I step, you can avoid the web that is there. You don't really know what purpose that serves or doesn't serve, but like being around spiders, it's always like, I don't want to step on that.
Fly on Brian.
But yeah, Brian can absolutely fly in here as well. So that's
Yeah.
also an option.
Lion Brian.
Do you want to fly on Brian?
No, I want you to. Just be dope sauce. Oh yeah.
I do what I want, Thor, I guess.
Okay.
And then she does
I'm supporting that.
Now Brian rides in on
Yeah. I
Lenore?
Brian. and Brian rides in on me.
You usually pay double for that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's from dodgeball. Sorry.
So I'm going to, let me see. I don't want to get like murdered by it. I don't want to get Brian murdered. Okay, fine. I'm going to sneak up this way and I'm gonna shoot at somebody.
All right, so from here you can see the goblin that's riding the spider that's seemingly working away on this crystal, doing whatever the ticking feet. And then this drider, that the phased drider, that Divot chased up this wall over here is kind of hanging out in a big mangly web.
Yeah, so what I want to do, my intention is I want to ride that spider.
There it is.
Spider. So I gotta get my way over that way. So I'm gonna get on Brian to fly me up that way, and I'm gonna take out Daughter of Ash, my new favorite toy, and I'm gonna shoot at the face head of that spider lady.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're a proven warrior. You take quickly to how weapons work, but this bow is new to you. You
Yep.
feel the fitted grooves from Real's continued use for so long, as you're like, I'll just kind of follow his trend where his hand fell, and you see the bow aligns straight on your course. Go ahead and make an attack. She does, like I said, she has a pretty great ice. Nice.
Ooh.
Yo.
Woo!
Outta here, kid.
So yeah, it's one of those, like, I feel it in my arms, and I'm like riding on Brian, and I'm like, okay, this is just do or die. Here I go. I gotta make my friends proud of me. And then I pull it back, and it just rings true, and it's like, ooh, like butter. Like butter, feels like silk, like butter.
Like butter. Yeah.
I just see it in slow motion, and I'm like really stoked. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is where this belongs.
Yeah, you see it lands
man,
true.
that's gonna hurt.
Blasting, right? Although the body seemingly made of crystal, a strong enough arm, but administering the pain, you see the bolt of the arrow itself just sticks right into the body of the crystalline face spider half of this phased rider.
Yeah, because I still get 2 attacks with this, or is it
Yeah,
only
you do
one
actually.
blade?
Yes.
You
Yeah, it
do?
doesn't have a reload property like a crossbow or something.
Oh God, please get it.
Okay, then I go for one more time. Just like
Oh.
It's still new. It's still new. Like everyone, you have to suck at something before you're good at something.
Yeah, you're like trying to you're like, all right, well that's how you shoot it. Let's see if I could try something else, because you're a little bit of a wild card. So you hold it sideways and let it go, and unfortunately, the arrow just kind of careens off the hard crystalline legs of the spider.
Whoops.
It hisses at you, still kind of like its legs backing up the wall a little bit, seemingly confused by the strange magic that forced it to flee in the first place.
Awesome. Yeah. That sounds good to me. Who's right after me? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's I'm good with that. I'm also, can I see Divot at all?
Yes, you absolutely can. You see his body. You see like the outline of Divot, glowing under this like soft, slow falling waterfall as this purple light is just like glowing around his outline.
Cool. All right, making sure that, and I want to ride that dang old speed ray. So I'm gonna give it up. The next person.
All right, yeah, Bruno, you're close enough now. Your next move, if you want to like get up there and try to wrestle you, Spider. You got you're within your. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was like, I can't quite do it yet, but next turn.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm not. Yeah, I can't get there quite yet. So
Yeah,
I'm going.
All right,
Bruno the
Dorcas.
Spider Rider.
It's a serpent sea slayer.
Shield master.
The serpent slayer.
Shield maidens. Lord.
Senior.
Yeah, it's senior. It's the comma SR.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So the first arrow, rang true. The second not, unfortunately, as you kind of prepare. You're kind of sizing up the way this creature moves, the way a cowboy looks at a buck. You're just like, all right, now which way you shift there. All right, I don't know why you're suddenly a cowboy, but you're like, well, yeah, all right, man, I'm gonna ride on you. So yeah, you're prepared. You see the creature again, kind of still just like shifting weirdly. You watch how the legs move on the rock, how it's able to freely move up and down a wall as if it were walking on the ground. If that's the end of your turn, Thorkus, you're up.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, I'm still moving through the shit at the moment in this hallway.
Yeah, I mean at this point, yeah, it's obviously there's a lot more of this webbing closer to the corner there. It's like you're kind of pressed against the wall. You've got a pretty safe path through this moss. Kind of if you went past Real there, like in this little area, you see there's kind of areas that are just moss and not so much spider web that you think you could kind of navigate your path there.
Cool. Bruno, is it alright if I use Brian for a second?
Be my guest. Guest.
Is that
Did we just ask Brian now? Is that?
Oh,
Brian,
yeah.
actually, the Brian man is totally full of his own beans, so
Hey,
ask him.
Is it cool?
Brian turns and looks at you.
Did you say he's full of his own beans?
Yeah, he's got his own beans.
Again, you're not a trained rider, Thorkus. So just like your Tyrannosaurus mount attempt, there would be an animal handling check involved if you want to fly on Brian.
Oh no, I just wanted to have him bounce me up real quick so I could do a cool.
Yes.
I don't really need to ride him, but just give me that extra little, bounce off the mushroom thing and.
I love it.
Okay. I don't want to get him in trouble or anything like that. So yes, I would like to, if I could, just move up to about right on there and have him just give me a quick little bounce up, pull out old trusty dust, and let loose on this drow girl over here.
Dope, yeah, you get the boost of the battle alacrity from the True Strike blade. Again, you pick your feet up and you just feel like this ancient breeze of battle push behind you. Your feet finally catch up with your moving body as you scuttle across the rock. Your feet stand on Brian's back and he flexes his wings and just kind of looks at you and gives you a little I got you. And as you jump, he opens his wings up, sending you flying up into the air. You have more than enough movement to traverse that distance. So yeah, go ahead. You're kind of flying through the air, doing the spinning top of doom.
How much would I be able to move?
You can get all the way to her. Landing is going to be a little bit of a trick because you'll probably either land on her or on the webbing, or perhaps fall to the ground. So it all kind of depends on how that plays out. But
okay, so
you can
I'm
get
thinking
up. She's like 30 feet up the wall, so it's like you got pretty high.
Right. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna hit her. Yeah.
That's what I do.
So yeah, I'm thinking while I'm up there, I should probably attack because once I get down to the ground, she's still 30 feet up in the air, right? So I'm not gonna be able to use the axes anyway. So I might as well, as I'm flying through the air with the greatest of ease, just give her a couple doses of the old dusty.
Boom.
Damn it. got one.
All right, yeah. So again, just because, and I just want to clarify this for our viewers as well. What this has done here, the reason it says 5 and then +5 is because with advantage he would have crit and that would have been the extra damage.
Right.
But since you don't have advantage, there's no crit on that, so it would just be the 5.
Right. And then the other one's an 11, but doesn't hit.
Correct. You see, you experience the same thing. This monster kind of skittering in the air as you cover the great distance between you and it. As you land, you let loose a couple of the arrows out of Trusty Dusty. You see one of them lands, right near where Brunor's was, almost as if the two fighters are showing off a little bit. And then the second you missed, almost the exact same miss that she made too. You're like, but I can do the sideways bow thing, and then you miss with the sideways bow thing the way that Brunor had. So yeah, the creature hisses as the first bolt or the first arrow lands, actually hitting part of the drow, right where it's like right in the side of its stomach, where some of the crystalline rocks seem to be holding these two creatures together. But yeah, 5 damage. Very nice.
I'll take it.
Anything else?
Well, you said landing might be a little bit of an issue.
Actually, no. Since you decided not to take your axes and try to attack on your way down, and you just made a good landing. That's you had the movement to make it there. Brian gave you the assist to get you over some of the creepier web areas. But yeah, since you decided to shoot the bow, I'm not really going to penalize you for falling.
Cool.
You just did it cool-like.
Can I just land and be really angry that I didn't hit both shots? Be like, damn it, fuck!
Kicking mud and little veins of white and purple magic. Even you kind of look over and see the glowing outline of Divot under this waterfall. You got anything else, Thorcus?
Not really.
Take your time, Thorcus, because I feel like this next turn is going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna... I mean, I did hit it. Could I use... now? No. I don't want to do that. Fuck. Yeah, no, I'm gonna... There's nothing I can use.
If it's spider time, it's spider time.
That's
kind of what I mean. I'm like,
Speed
bro,
time.
I can't do anything.
It's speed raid time.
I'm going through all my skills and I'm like, they're not gonna do anything. Yeah.
You ain't bring your bug spray?
Did not did that. Right.
Got that deep.
Right. Yeah, so I'll just sit there and take it.
All right, you kind of look up at this menacing, this massive creature of half spider, half drow. The fair elven features of this, once beautiful elven woman are now just twisted and contorted, and her mouth is starting to look more like mandibles, and her eyes are sunken in. Her flesh hangs loose on her body, like the armor on her plate, kind of holding her together more than anything else. As kind of she just bobbles on top of this, bestial spider. You see that finally, as the whispers of madness clear from her mind, she settles down, and you see those burning purple eyes that you've seen on all these servants of Queen Mab in the past. You see the purple fire burning within them as she starts mouthing these elvish words. Anybody that speaks Elvish, she's doing a forbidden form of blood magic. For the queen. And you see an insect plague as the spell, but instead of locusts, this swarm of a 20-foot circle of these life-sucking leeches swarms around Rial, Brian, and Bruno. This 20-foot wide circle. I'm gonna bring you back to your favorite thing, shapes.
Damn
Shapes.
I got a crap
This
load
ain't
of
gonna be the-
squares.
It's not gonna be the coffee
Right
cup.
on my desk. That's
Boom! Look at that square.
This
Whoa.
is pretty
Oh,
beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Fucking square ass square.
I mean,
That's
it's
a
wow.
pretty green ass, big ass, big ass. Looking
All right,
ass
so
square.
she casts the spell Insect Plague. What this means, I need Constitution saving throws from everybody in that radius. And her spell save DC is 15.
I just wanted to say, at the end of my turn, could I have looked up at her and been like, "Sup, girl"?
Of course. I would never stand in the way.
Ooh.
Not on me.
Yeah.
23, baby. Oh, I gotta do Brian. Oh, shucks. Hold on.
Oh.
Here,
I
you
got
want me to
too
go?
confident.
You want me to go first before Brian? We'll just see if I do that. What do you say, Constitution?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm scared for Brian.
Good luck, buddy.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-dum-bum. What was that?
19.
19. Okay. Brian.
Okay, everybody, this is for Brian.
An 11.
Yeah.
He loves bugs.
He does.
All right. You see, and Riao, you pass. So Brunor and Riao, you take half of this. Brian takes the full amount.
Cool. Brian did get some temporary hit points on.
All right, here we go. All right, so 19 is the damage. So you take 9.
Wowzers.
You take 9 if you passed.
Those.
And if you fail, if Brian takes 19. Now, with 2 fails, and I'm just doing that in the head. You see as this swarm of
Bees?
of leeches just continuously, as like one will leech onto your body and suck blood until it's full, and you see its little body grows fat, and it'll disconnect, and then where the bite marks are, one will just grow and grow out of the wound first made by one of them. So this cloud of leeches will stay there, yeah. So you're in the spell's area. So you take it. If you end your turn in that area, you will take damage. So that's actually her turn. She's going to, because she can, she's going to continue to move up the wall. She moves her full movement speed, another 30 feet, climbing up toward these shattered cracks in the ceiling where the beams of light, cast down on the site before you. You see she gets up. She's a full 60 feet in the air now, but she does leave the web that she was on. She scatters up more toward a rocky crag in the roof. But that is the end of her turn. You see as some of the blood leeches, that are fat start floating. Riao, you're kind of like batting the ones away from you, trying to not let them eat your body. And as you slap one of the full ones, you feel it's like slapping a waterbed. Its body is just full of blood. You watch its ripply body just float. And suddenly you see one of the spiders just turn, and the goblin on top turns back at you. You finally now seeing the front of this goblin's face. It is a green emerald face frozen in stone. You still see the sharp teeth, but they're like stalactites and stalagmites in a stone mouth on this green emerald goblin's body. Now that you can actually see the breath of this creature, you notice that its legs too, like the legs of this phased rider, seemingly have these crystals starting to grow between them, as if they're rooted onto these giant spiders. You see this one of the spider's 8 legs stops tacking on the crystal, turns around, grabs the leech, and then devours the blood. And you watch as the body of this giant spider turns into blue crystal. And you see it grow about 10 feet in size.
Don't feed him after midnight. Don't get him wet.
Sorry, man, I'm trouble getting the corner of him.
You get me wet after midnight. They get. What do the gremlins do? They multiply. That's not good.
That looks like a tick.
Oh.
But yeah, now you see its body. You know, again, pardon my the artwork not matching the description, but yes, you see the creature grows massive inside, and now my tokens are a little messed up. You see the goblin on top as well, growing inside. You see these little whirls of magic, kind of smoking out of its eyes. You see its hands glowing with magic. The drider echoing down from the wall, the quiet song of Queen Mab all around you. And that's where we're gonna pick it up next time, guys.
Whoa. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Ooh, boy. This
Oops.
divot under the waterfall, like in a dope movie.
Bro, I hope something really cool happens with that, because we need a hero.
I got an idea. We'll see.
Miracle.
We'll see.
Thanks.
All right, yeah. No, holy crap. Of course you want to know what's going to happen. How do you find that out? You come back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific. We bring this little piece of magic. It is such a joy in all of our lives, and it is so fun to just talk with you guys and meet all these amazing creators and people in this D&D creative community and ttrpgs. Just like, what a cool freaking bunch of people, you know. It's been a treat. But honestly, man, telling the story and seeing how it goes, it's just my favorite part of the week every single week. So thank you so much for hanging out with us while we do my favorite thing with my favorite people, smoking some of my favorite stuff. And thank you so very much for being here with us, guys. We do have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a little lighter, I'm back to a pickle lighter. I don't even know how that happened. This little pickle lighter right here. Make sure you are not going to light any of your friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go. Lighters up. Thanks for playing D&D with us, guys. We fucking love you. Ah, we do. It's like, oh, God, Weed&d got a crush on us, bud. Oh, man, we got crushes. Oh, no.
So what? You can't touch me, because I'm from the internet.